Welcome to lecture series on digital electronics under EPG Pathshala. This module is dedicated to understand the state reduction techniques. Whenever we talk about state machines and their design, we always begin with the word problem. When the specifications of the systems are clearly known, then we can start finding out the state diagram or a state table. From this we can proceed to preparation of some excitation equations, transition tables, and finally we come to the output expressions and the logic diagram. So, whenever we talk about a sequence of designing the steps, naturally there is one important part that will decide the cost of design, and that important part is known as state reduction. Whenever we are designing the sequential circuit, the first thing that we have to talk about, the number of states will decide how many flip flops that we require. So, for example, in a state machine or in a counter, if we have 6 states and if we use some state reduction techniques and the result of that we get only 4 states, indicating that the number of flip flops required before state reduction are 3, whereas the number of flip flops required after state reduction are 2. So, naturally there is a reduction in the cost of the hardware. Now, whenever we are reducing not only the hardware, the cost of implementation as well as the complexity of the circuit, number of combinational blocks can also be reduced and number of flip flops can be reduced. So, these are several advantages of state reduction techniques. Whenever we talk about state reduction, the first thing that comes in our mind is to find out, are there any equivalent states. So, first we talk about equivalencies of the states, then once the states are equivalent, then we try to reduce those states, or there could be certain redundant states that we find out, and those could be eliminated from the state machine. If we talk about state table, the redundant states could form a step or a row, or when we talk about state diagram, it is a part of the state diagram. So, number of states can be eliminated. There are popularly 2 techniques for using state reduction method. The first one is partitioning the equivalence classes, and the second method is implication chart. In the first method, what we do, the state diagram is partitioned into equivalent classes, and we find out the reductant state after that. Whereas, in implication chart, we visually prepare the state chart, then we put the equivalent states and identify non-equivalent states, and the states which are not equivalent could be kept as it is, but equivalent states can be eliminated from the state table. In this module, we will explore these state reduction techniques. Let us now define the learning objectives of this module. First, understand the concept of state equivalences. Second, to know the importance of state reduction. There are 2 different techniques of state reduction using partition and use of implication charts. Third objective is to reduce the state table using partitioning technique, and fourth, to study the method of reducing the state table using implication chart. The logic designers usually construct state table or state diagram from the verbal or written problem statement. The main lacuna in this approach is that there is no consideration of the redundant states. Once the initial state machine is designed, the designer can focus on identifying the redundant states and their elimination. Let us consider the formal definition of state equivalences. 2 states S0 and S1 are said to be equivalent if and only if for every possible input x sequence the outputs are the same and the next states are equivalent. Let us consider a state machine with states S0 and S1. These states receive the input x. Let x represents a sequence of inputs x1, x2, x3 up to xn. the outputs of both circuits are y1 and y2. If these output sequences are same and their next states are equivalent, then two states S0 and S1 are equivalent. The properties of the equivalent states are: first, symmetry. If S0 is equal to S1, then S1 is equal to S0, indicating both sides are same. Second property, reflexivity. S0 is equal to S0. Third, transitivity between the states. If S0 is equal to S1 and S1 is equal to S2, then states S0 and S2 are equivalent. Any design process should consider the problem of reducing the cost of the system. There are two cost reduction techniques. First, reducing the number of flip flops, and second, minimizing the number of logic gates. A skilled logic designer pays attention to finding the equivalent states in the state table. When one state is equivalent to another, then it can be treated as redundant state. Such redundant state can thus be eliminated from the state table. Number of states required for implementation of state machine affects three important parameters of digital design: circuit hardware cost, the operating speed, and design complexity. Therefore, it is desirable to carry out reduction of equivalent states, also known as state reduction. The relationship between number of states and the state variable is 2 raised to x is equal to y, where x is the number of state variables and y represents number of states. This relationship clearly indicates that if we reduce the number of states, the number of flip flops can also be reduced. There are two approaches for identification of state equivalency and reduction: partitioning equivalency classes and the implication chart. The equivalence class technique partitions a set of states into groups or classes. The implication chart identifies the classes of states using graphical method. Each class is identified by a box in the implication chart. Let us now understand the partitioning techniques for equivalence classes. In the partitioning method, the state table partitions a set of states into groups or equivalence classes based on the next state and output depending upon input sequence. To understand the partitioning method, to determine n equivalences, let us consider the given state table for demonstrating the procedure for state equivalences. This state table indicates the present state in the first column and number of next state columns are depend on the number of input variables. For given x, there are two next state columns for x is equal to 0 and x is equal to 1. Similarly, there are two output columns corresponding to input x is equal to 0 and x is equal to 1. Let us now understand the partitioning technique. For this, partition the states into classes, say P1, P2 and so on, so that the group or class members will have the same input and output values. Let us look at the state table and find out states where outputs are the same for the input x values. There are three classes possible. In the first partition group, P1 states S0 are grouped because y is 0 when x is equal to 0 and y is equal to 0 when x is equal to 1. Similarly, other partition classes are prepared where the group members share the same output values for given input x. So, there are 3 possible classes. Let us list them. P1 is equal to S0 and S5. In the second class, we have S1 and S2. Third partition class contains S3, S4 and S6. Let us now prepare the next class table to indicate this partition into classes. One equivalency next class table is constructed from original state table. In the present class column, the 3 possible partitions P1, P2 and P3 are written along with the states grouped under them. The next class column with x is equal to 0 and x is equal to 1 can be obtained for all states in the present class. This is done by referring the partition class in which the next state was located. For example, present state S0 has the next state S3 when x is equal to 0, which belongs to class P3. Therefore, P3 is written in the x is equal to 0 next class column. State S0 has next state S1 when x is equal to 1, which belongs to a partition class P2. Hence, P2 is written in x is equal to 1 next class column. Using this procedure, rest of the rows can be filled in. Step 2. Prepare 2 equivalency next class table. The next partition will determine 2 equivalency, that is an input sequence of 2. Test each state within the partition classes found in step 1. Test P1 for each value of x. It is observed that for x is equal to 0, the next class is P3 for S0 and next class is P2 for S5. For x is equal to 1, the next class is P2 for both the states S0 and S5. This indicates that P1 has next class partition. Let us now test P2 for each value of input x. It is observed that for x is equal to 0, the next class is P3. When x is equal to 1, the next class is P1 for all the states contained in P2. This indicates that no new partition for class P2 is possible. Let us look at now P3. Let us test P3 for each value of input x. It is observed that for x is equal to 0, the next class is P1 and when x is equal to 1, the next class is P3 for all the states obtained in P2. This indicates that no new partition for class P3 is possible. Fourth, the 2 equivalency classifications are P11 includes S0, P12 includes S5, P21 includes S1 and S2 and P31 includes S3, S4 and S6. A new class table is to be prepared by referring to the original state table to indicate 2 equivalency classification. The 2 equivalency next class table is indicated here. For example, the x is equal to 0 next state for present state S0 is S3, which is in class P31. Therefore, P31 is written in x is equal to 0 next class column. Similarly, for x is equal to 1, the next state, the present state S0 is S1, which is in class P21. Hence, P21 is written in x is equal to 1 next class column. Using this procedure, rest of the rows can be filled in. Step 3. Prepare 3 equivalency next class table. The next partition will determine 3 equivalency, that is an input sequence of 3. Test each state within the partition classes found in step 2. Test P11 for each value of x. No additional partitioning is necessary because the next class contains only one state. Test P12 for each value of x. No additional partition is necessary because next class contains only one state. Test P21 for each value of x. It is observed that for x is equal to 0, the next class is P31 for S0 and next class is P31 for S2. For x is equal to 1, the next class is P11 for S1 and next class is P21 for the state S5. This indicates that P21 has next class partition. Now, let us test P31 for each value of input x. It is observed that for x is equal to 0, the next class is P11 for all states, and when x is equal to 1, then the next class is P31 for all the states contained in P31. This indicates that no new partition for class P31 is possible. The 3 equivalency classifications are: P111 includes only S0, P121 includes S5, P211 includes S1, P212 includes S2 and P311 includes S3, S4 and S6. A new class table is to be prepared by referring to original state table to indicate 3 equivalency classification. The 3 equivalency next class table is shown here. For example, the x is equal to 0, the next state for present state S0 is S3, which is in class P311. Therefore, P311 is written in the x is equal to 0 next class column. Similarly, for x is equal to 1, the next state, the present state S0 is S1, which is in class P211. Hence, P211 is written in x is equal to 1 next class column. Step 4. Prepare 4 equivalency next class table. The next partition will determine 4 equivalency, that is an input sequence of 4. Test each state within the partition classes found in step 3. Test P11 for each value of input x. No additional partition is necessary because the next class contains only one state. Test P121 for each value of input x. No additional partition is necessary because the next class contains only one state. Let us test now P211 for each value of x. Here also no additional partition is necessary because the next class contains only one state. Same thing is true for P212. Let us test P212 for each value of input x. No additional partition is necessary because the next class contains only one state. Let us test P311, which includes S3, S4 and S6. As the next classes for the same for S3, S4 and S6 for input x, no further partitioning is possible. The 4 equivalent classes are the same as 3 equivalent classes, therefore, no further testing is required. Step 5. Identify the equivalent states. The states in the partition class P311 are equivalent. Hence, the states S3 is equivalent to S4 is equivalent to S6. This indicates there are 2 states, say S4 and S6 are redundant. Once the redundant states are identified, a new simplified state table can be constructed. States S4 and S6 are no longer present in this table. These states may be renamed by S3 in the original state as shown here. So, we are replacing S4 and S6 by S3 in all rows of the state table. Here original state table is shown on the left and the reduced state table is shown on the right of the slide. The simplified state table contains only 5 states as compared to 7 in the original state table. This state reduction technique ensures that simplified finite state machine is functionally equivalent to the original one. Skilled designers can check the functional equivalency of both the machine by simulating the behavior using CAD tools. Let us now discuss the use of implication charts for state reduction. Implication charts, sometimes referred to as pair charts, provide a graphical method for identifying the equivalent states. In this method, each pair of states is checked for possible equivalence. The non-equivalence pairs are systematically eliminated until only the equivalent pair remains. Implication chart is based on a grid array to list the possible state equivalences for different inputs. The method for determining the state equivalences is described as follows. First, construct a chart which contains a square for each pair of states. The chart is constructed by listing all possible states except the last along the horizontal x axis and all the states except the first along the vertical y axis. The intersection of horizontal and vertical state spaces indicates a possible state equivalency. Figure shows a typical implication chart for state machine with 7 states. While building implication chart, the shaded portion is removed for the obvious reason. In the shaded portion, each state is equivalent to itself, which is implied, and hence it is not considered in determining the equivalence states. Step 2. Compare each pair of rows in the state table. If the outputs associated with the state S I and S j are different, place x in square S I and S j. If the next states of S I and S j are S m and S n for some input x, then S m and S n is an implied pair. Third, if the outputs and the next states are the same, or S I and S j only implies itself, place a check mark in the square defined by S I and S j to indicate S I is equivalent to S j. Consider an example to demonstrate the use of implication chart for simplification of state table. This state table indicates present state in the first column and number of next columns are dependent on number of input variables. For given x, there are two next state columns for x is equal to 0 and x is equal to 1. Similarly, there are two output columns corresponding to input x is equal to 0 and x is equal to 1. Let us construct the implication chart for given state table. The chart is constructed by listing all possible states except last, that is S6 along the horizontal x axis and all the states except the first along the vertical y axis. The intersection of horizontal and vertical state spaces indicates a possible state equivalency. The implication chart squares are now to be filled in. The square cell defined by vertical and horizontal intersection should be approximately filled in. It represents the possibility of state equivalences between the states involved in the intersection. Place an x in the square where the outputs are different. These states cannot be equivalent. Let us look at the state table and check the possibility of equivalences. The present state S0 and S1 cannot be equivalent as their outputs are different. So, let us put x in the square pointed by S0 and S1. Let us test equivalence of S0 with the rest of the states S2, S3 and so on. Place an x in the square where the outputs are different. These states cannot be equivalent. On the similar lines, equivalence test is carried out for rest of the columns for S1, S2, S3, S4 and S5. X is placed in the square where states cannot be equivalent. So, here we have identified the non-equivalent states by putting x. Let us now consider the remaining vacant squares. Now, look at the state equivalency pairs. Say S0 could be equivalent to S5 if and only if S2 is equivalent to S3. Let us write this state equivalency pair S2 S3 in the square S0 and S5. S1 could be equivalent to S2 if and only if S0 is equivalent to S5 and S4 is equivalent to S6. Let us write this state equivalency pair in the S1 S2 square. S3 could be equivalent to S4 if and only if S0 equivalent to S0 and S3 equivalent to S3. As the state pairs are depend on itself for equivalency, hence they are identical. Hence, S3 and S4 is an equivalence pair. Let us put correct tick mark in the square. S3 could be equivalent to S6 if and only if S3 is equivalent to S4. Let us write this state equivalency pair in the square defined by S3 and S6. S4 could be equivalent to S6 if and only if S3 is equivalent to S4. Let us write this state equivalency pair in the S4 S6 square. Now, let us test the equivalences of each square by testing the implied equivalent state pairs written in each square. When the implied equivalent state pairs are not equivalent for a given square, write an x in the square. The implied square defined by S0 and S5 requires that the state pairs defined by S2 and S3 must be equivalent. The implied square S2 and S3 is not equivalent. Hence, it is necessary to place x in the implied square defined by S0 and S5. The implied square S1 and S2 requires that the state pairs S0 and S5 and S4 and S5 must be equivalent. The implied square S0 and S5 is not equivalent. Hence, it is necessary to place x in the implied square defined by S1 and S2. The implied square S3 and S6 requires that state pair S3 and S4 must be equivalent. As the implied square S3 and S4 is equivalent, hence put a correct tick mark on square. The implied square S4 and S6 requires that the state pairs S3, S4 must be equivalent. As the implied square S3, S4 is equivalent, hence put a correct tick mark on a square. The implication chart indicates the pairs marked by correct tick mark are equivalent. The state pairs S3 is equal to S4 and S3 is equal to S6 are equivalent. This indicates that two states S4 and S6 are redundant. States S4 and S6 are no longer present. These states may be renamed by S3 in the original state table. The simplified state table is also shown and contains only 5 states as compared to 7 in the original state table. Let us summarize some of the key points in this module. Reduction of state table basically reduces the number of states. This will ultimately reduce the cost of design as well as the design complexity. Whenever we talk about state reduction techniques, we have to first find out equivalent states. If there are two states S0 and S1 which are said to be equivalent, then we have to find out whether their outputs are same and next states are equivalent. If two states are equivalent, then we can eliminate one of the states and that state is called as a redundant state. There are two popular techniques for state reduction. The first one is equivalency class, where we partition the state table into several groups or classes. And the second method is the implication chart method, which is a graphical method of identifying the equivalent states. Each box indicates the equivalency of the states. If the next states are same, then naturally they are equivalent. If they are not same, then they are not equivalent. So, these are the two techniques which helps us in reducing the number of states, which definitely eliminates the number of flip flops and logic gates, ultimately reducing the cost and the design complexity. Thank you.